6:59.
So,
Oh, good evening. I'd like to call this meeting this evening to order. And could I have a mover and a seconder?
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that this meeting be opened at 7 p.m.
All in favor? Yeah. This evening, I'd like to give our condolences to a former employee, Sean Jodoin, and he worked for our municipality as well as he was a volunteer firefighter. He was a very kind person, and he was loved by many people. People knew him, and the younger people that grew up with him, I was surprised when they came forward and said they had known Sean. He left this earth on Saturday evening, and I would like to just take a moment to remember Sean. Thank you. Next, we'll have the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a mover and seconder?
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that the agenda presented to Council and dated the 9th day of September 2025 be adopted as prepared.
All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
I have one, Your Worship.
Hearing none.
No, I have one
Oh,
actually.
you have one?
I do for 9C, the Castleholm Executive Summary and Motion.
On Castleholm? Okay. Next, we have the adoption of previous minutes. Could I have a mover and seconder? All in favor?
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that the minutes of the regular meeting of Council of August 12th and special meeting of Council of September 2nd, 2025 be adopted as circulated.
Now I can ask all in favor. Carried. Any presentation and delegation?
None for this evening.
Nothing. Anything for the question period?
There were
no questions. Staff reports?
None for this evening.
Nothing. Adoption of committee minutes and motions. That's the Recreation and Fitness Committee meeting of August 11th. We have a motion for that. Could we have a mover and a seconder?
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommends to Council that hoodies be purchased for each committee member to wear at community events, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
All in favor? I just want to ask the question, are these hoodies go to the individuals, right? They're not coming back
No,
to somebody else, they're open.
further service, and it just says, staff or as
I think it
would we
rec
agree
committee.
rec committee on it, just so, we're identifiable.
Okay. All in favor again? Carried. Next, we go to the corporate services meeting. We have motions from there. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the, uh, sorry. Could I have a mover and seconder for the next resolution?
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council to accept the Agri-Food Forum 2025 report as an update regarding the Township of Bonfield's proposal to host an Agri-Food Forum to take place in November 2025, and further authorizes staff to organize and prepare for the event on the basis as discussed, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
All in favor?
I have a comment.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say that the next three motions, this one included, is about forums that the township is wanting to put on, a developers forum, an agri-food forum, and a business retention and expansion program. And we want to make it easy for you to find the information. So in this agenda package is the full report. That it's a draft report, so it's still under construction. And if you want more information, if they could go back and watch the corporate services meeting where we discussed it, they would get lots of information. But we really would like people to know about this. We want to spread the word. We've not settled on dates yet and formatting, so we're still working that out. But we really want people to be involved. And if please reach out to our staff. Our planning administrator, Simon, who's done a tremendous amount of work, and it's very exciting. It's an exciting programs that are going to be coming up.
Okay, thank you. And just the corporate services meeting was, I checked it here, August 17th.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks. Yeah,
So
just all in favor now.
carried? All in favor, I should say, carried. Okay, the next one is another corporate service motion. I need a mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council to accept the Developers Forum report as an update regarding the Township of Bonfield's proposal to host a Developers Forum to take place in November 2025, and further that staff be authorized to organize and prepare for the event on the basis as outlined, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have another resolution for corporate services meeting.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council to accept the BR&E initiative Growing Bonfield Together report as an update regarding the proposed Business Retention plus Expansion BR+E initiative as scheduled to take place between the fall of 2025 and spring of 2026. And further that staff be authorized to advance activities on the basis of the draft work plan as outlined. And further that Mayor Paquette and Councillor Donna Clark be appointed to the BNR+E Executive Committee. And further that Council accepts the recommendation.
Okay, can I speak to that? When we had the meeting, we had a report that there was one member. Then we came to the meeting, and at the time, I know that another councillor would like to do it. And I said, well, I would like to do it. And then I got thinking after, no, Councillor Clark would like to do it. So then it came up that there was the place for two individuals, and we'll make place for two individuals. But if it disrupts the program or anything like that, I will step down and Councillor Clark can do it. It doesn't matter. I'm not, and I don't mean this negative in any way. I'm just saying if I don't want to disturb the program, if you only need one and other groups only have one person, then I'm fine with it if Councillor Clark does it.
I think it's of great value to have both of you on it.
So do I. I think that you sit on planning boards. I think your experience and your knowledge, I think we would benefit greatly from this. So I would welcome the two of us. I think for Bonfield, it would be beneficial.
Good. I just didn't want to disrupt anything, and at first I thought, oh, if somebody already wants to do this, did I step in and shake the program up or anything?
It was never established. I know it seemed because I was asking a lot of questions. Simon Blakely and I did attend an agri-food session. That was the only reason why I was so interested, but we had not discussed it prior to have, it was, again, it was a discussion for us to see who would be on it. It was not pre-planned that I was going to sit on the board at all.
Okay, very good. So all in favor? Carried. Next we have corporate services. I need a mover and a seconder again.
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council that the Township of Bonfield requests the Province of Ontario through the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program for the significant weather storm, a microburst that occurred on June 21st, 2025, and significantly impacted the municipal infrastructure, mainly flooded and washed out roads and culverts, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
Any questions or comments? One question. Are we all finished? Have we completed all of the storm's work now? Has that all been done?
I believe we're finally done all of the work from the storm, yes. Now we're just compiling the grant application to put it into their form to submit it into the ministry.
And just to add to that, correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, done the storm, but I mean, it put us behind in what we would typically be doing in the summer from a brushing or all of the maintenance work that would happen throughout the municipality. So for anybody asking, if there's anyone wondering kind of what is happening in the municipality, we're still caught up technically from the storm, but not caught up in all of the work that typically would have happened, right?
We lost a month, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then plus, if I can add to that, just on how far behind we are as well, because the shop, public works shop is being fixed from the mold problem. So staff have spent the last week cleaning out the shop so that they can go in to rebuild it. So we are behind schedule.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Then we need this is in corporate service as well. Yes. Can we have a mover and a seconder?
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council to cancel the agenda package software eScribe, and that staff continue to produce and distribute the committees and council agendas through Adobe, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. We have another resolution by corporate services. Could we have a mover and seconder?
Moved by Counselor Featherstone, seconded by Counselor McInnes, that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council to cancel the hardware and software management through North Bay Computer Services and enter into an agreement with Interlock Networks for IT services for the township, and further that Council accepts the recommendation.
I just have a question. Interlock Networks for IT, are they in North Bay? Are they local? Yes. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Next, we have a Planning Advisory Committee meeting of September 2nd. Do we have a mover and seconder?
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, that the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to Council to accept this report as an update regarding application reference B8 2025, which proposes a draft plan of subdivision to create 18 new lots, and application reference ZC1 2025, which proposes a zoning bylaw amendment in association with application reference B8 2025, seeking relief for a reduced lot frontage to 30 meters and a reduced lot size to 0.5 hectares on lands legally described as part of Lot 32 Concession 8, with the retained lands comprising part of Lot 32 Concession 7, and further that Council accepts the recommendation, and further that staff continue working with the applicant along with the municipal planning consultant to prepare a draft subdivision approval to be presented to Council.
Any questions or no comment? No? All in favor?
Did we want to amend that to say, sorry, does it say instruct staff?
And it says, and further that staff continue working with the applicant.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the concern I
Right,
had, was
right.
I wanted it to come back to council, to have the full support of council, to ask the staff to continue working.
Since I'll make a quick comment if I could.
Sure.
I mean, I think if anybody tuned into the public meeting, what they would have seen is some very exciting news of a developer and a very good developer, a well-known developer within our region, looking to create a subdivision within the hamlet of Rutherglen, which is fantastic. Our hamlets are meant for trying to get some growth happening within our community, and this is a very exciting development. I don't know the last time, if ever, our community has been able to move forward with a large subdivision. I know we have one that's been in the works for quite some time, and we remain hopeful, but it's great to have this contractor looking to create a subdivision. 18 new homes, 18 new ratepayers is going to help substantially. We all don't like paying the rate of taxes that we pay. There's only two ways to really help support that, and it's either as costs go up, we either raise taxes or we grow. So having moderate growth, as in 18 new homes, is going to allow us to support a tax base more equitably as we look to supply 120 kilometers of roads. Maintenance, it's basically driving from North Bay to Sudbury, is the amount of roads we have in Bonfield. So helping to share that load across a few more ratepayers is going to make a big difference. So it's a great news.
If I may add, I think a wonderful statement. Part of the resolution does say that the draft approval, and so that draft subdivision approval is a document that's going to come back with a number of conditions that the developer has to meet before the subdivision agreement, but it gives them the ability to move forward with the project and start to do all the other plans. But they wouldn't do that without the draft subdivision. So in order to speed up, cut the red tape for that as well, part of this resolution is that would come back to the council, because council is the authority that would sign off on that as well. I just want to make that.
As opposed to coming back through planning advisory, it'll come straight to council.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, at PAC, the concern was that the PAC was going to be instructing, but it's really council's
Yeah, and I'm in favor of it all, and I think it's great. I think it's great news that, uh, like Councillor Corbett said, when did we last have a subdivision? I think it's very good. The only thing, let's go back and let council tell staff to work on it. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so all in favor? Carry. Oh, do we have, over and second there for the next one?
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the province of Ontario, through the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, was planning to begin aerial spraying of glyphosate-based herbicides in late August 2025 in the Nipissing Forest, and whereas the Nipissing Forest covers a significant portion, if not all, of the township of Bonfield, and residents and ecosystems may be impacted by this activity, and whereas new scientific evidence published since Health Canada's last assessment of glyphosate in 2017 has linked glyphosate-based end-use products to cancer, metabolic and neurological diseases, reproductive toxicity, and ecosystem harm. And whereas the province of Quebec banned the use of glyphosate for forestry purposes in 2001, and replaced aerial herbicide spraying with manual forest thinning as a safer alternative forest management method. And whereas many residents have expressed concern regarding the potential environmental and public health risks associated with aerial spraying of glyphosate-based herbicides, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Bonfield formally requests that the Honourable Mike Harris Jr., Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry, reconsider the planned use of glyphosate-based herbicides in the Nipissing Forest and permanently cancel the aerial spraying initiative. And be it further resolved that this resolution be forwarded to the Honourable Mike Harris Jr., Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry, the Honourable Sylvia Jones, Minister of Health, MPP Vic Fideli, Nipissing District.
Any questions? Any comments?
No, I would just like to say, I mean, I don't know why we'd be spraying this stuff. Like, it's just, cancer. I mean, it touches our food, the wild game people hunt, the water streams, our pollinators. Like, this is just nasty stuff that should not be sprayed.
Yeah. You're right. I wondered why we hadn't brought something forward. And I don't think we want that in our community. So I think I strongly support this motion.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to CAO Kunkel on this one because, like I said, pollinators have a tough enough time, and now we're spraying even,
Yeah.
who knows how far the air carries this stuff, right? It doesn't necessarily go where it's exactly
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to.
aerial spraying.
Right.
You're way up there. Make sure it gets everything.
So,
Gets us all. So all in favor, support this motion? Carried. Next we have, North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority resolution.
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that staff further investigate options and alternatives for septic services and natural heritage planning outside of the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority.
Okay, any comments on that?
again, I asked for this motion to be brought forward. I mean, Mattawa Conservation is just, it's in shambles. And I mean, we should be looking for alternative ways to control through planning, through, our watersheds and EP lands, through planning and zoning. I mean, there's got to be other communities that do it this way. I mean, Again, North Bay Mattawa Conservation was in the newspaper again this morning with turmoil. I mean, how many CAOs have they gone through in the past, since we've been on term of council?
Yeah.
3? So, you listen to Councillor Featherstone, he attends these meetings, they're 3-5 hours long, like, just because it's.
Yeah.
Said that meeting started hours.
Right. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's. Go.
So this starts the process of us not, I mean, my objection has always been, what value are we getting? And so I think to your point, so does this start the process of us not paying the levy? Because that is what we're trying not to do. We're not, our taxpayers are paying for something of no value to us. That
So the first step in this, once the motion is passed, then I'll set up a meeting with the other member municipalities, the CAOs, in those member municipalities, and just start the discussions of how can we have the alternative services. So there is the act that says what the Conservation Authority has to provide to the municipalities. That does require unanimous decision amongst all member municipalities to remove those planning components before, and then the board would dissolve. But then there's also, if that stays, because we don't have unanimous, there's also the other service of the septic systems, the septic services that they do, which may be able to be done in a different fashion outside of the services, which can be explored if you pass this motion.
okay.
Yeah, I just feel like, 3 CAOs in the past 3 years, like, we're paying for that. Our money, our taxpayers' money are going for buyouts and payouts, like, so, I mean, there's no value to their service. There is, but I mean, it's not being run properly, so.
That's it.
I think my only comment on that is, we had our firsthand experience dealing with the Conservation Authority when we were working on our official plan. On our bylaw for additional dwelling units. Obviously, it was, I mean, you sat through those meetings with me. I felt less than impressed with the service we received from the Conservation Authority with asking for clarity, receiving answers from the person who had the authority at the Conservation Authority, and then it turning around and not necessarily being the answer consistent that we would get from somebody else at the Conservation Authority. That's unacceptable. It makes allowing us to do our jobs next to impossible when the subject matter experts are clearly not reliable when we're trying to move matters forward on behalf of the municipality. So definitely it's a huge strike from my perspective, against the Conservation Authority. I would be interested in seeking alternatives. I don't know what those alternatives are. I think I would ask for a report to come back, what that would look like. I would hate to just all of a sudden, boom, we're out, and we haven't actually put on a full process and program and making sure that our constituents and can get all the required permits that they need and meet all the requirements so that they can build as well. So I appreciate the motion coming forward. I look forward to a report coming back and you doing your work, understanding what other municipalities are, and then really kind of digging in and putting in a proper plan how to move this forward. So thank you.
Thank you. And if I may make a comment, at one time, the municipalities did monitor the system. That was the duty of the municipalities, Ministry of Environment and the municipality. So then it was removed from the municipalities to the Conservation Authority. And from that time, people would say, well, if we would take it back, we wouldn't have all those issues. So, and saying that, I think we have to be careful for what we ask for. I spoke with one of the people on the Mattawa Conservation Authority board, and this individual was very much in favor of that at one time. And so I asked him, I said, I see that the municipalities are not comfortable that everything is good with the Conservation Authority. And people are talking again about bringing it back to the municipalities. So he said to me, you have to be careful for what you ask for, because there's funding from the province that goes to the Conservation Authority that's we only pay a portion of it, right? And my concern is, and this has been my concern when I was the mayor last time, so you know how long it is. And it's the blue-green algae in Noswansine, and there's more there. There's a lot more than when the concerns was a way back when, because at that time, they were trying to pass it on to the municipality to monitor this and to clean it up. And at that time, I objected for sure. The rest of council, we didn't feel that that was our mandate. Everything was moved from us to the Conservation Authority. So now it's yours. You deal with it. You have blue-green algae in Noswansine, and you have blue-green algae in Cabascon Bay. So, and I agree with investigating all of the services and see what is our responsibility to do this and what is the cost to us. Before the cost comes to the municipality, those lakes should be cleaned up. I don't think that should come to our municipality.
So do we know what Mattawa Conservation Authority is doing to help with the blue-green algae? So like it's getting worse. So are they supposed to be?
It seems to be under their jurisdiction. It doesn't seem to be coming to us that it's our responsibility.
But it's getting worse. So
But yeah.
my point
It is.
is what are they actually doing then? And my other thing with the Conservation Authority is that we are also paying for a building. Like they bought a building. They have a ski hill. Like this is what our taxpayers are paying for. You know, I think we repaired their furnace. I believe that was in one of the reports. So those are of concern to me. And then I think you're absolutely right. They need to deal that sounds like a conservation authority, regardless of where it is. That sounds like their job. And if they're getting federal or provincial funding for that, that's what they should be focused on.
So I think to your point, Your Worship, and you make a good point. I think, two avenues need to be going down. One is, let's explore options and avenues that's available to us. The other one is very strongly advocating with the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, with the Ontario government, to put pressure on their conservation authorities, particularly potentially ours, if it is in fact, falling apart at the seams locally, which it definitely seems to be from the outside. I think it's incumbent upon us to send a letter to the minister with outlining our concerns of lack of response, lack of clarity, and the escalating costs. Because to the mayor's point, if we are going to jump out and look for other alternatives, are we turning our back to potential provincial funding that is flowing currently to the Conservation Authority that we're now going to be shouldering the larger bear on? And I don't know the answer to it. Obviously, that would be part of the questions that we would look to have come back in the report. But I think I would also like to, and perhaps delegations with ministers while we're down at Roma or Good Roads. I think it would be actually really good to have an opportunity, if you're down at Good Roads, to meet with the minister as well and have that conversation and express our concerns directly face to face. So.
Yeah, there's a lot to look into. There's lots of answers we need, but certainly if we don't start anywhere, we're not going to go there.
Yeah, we
right?
got to start the conversation.
Yeah.
So this motion will move forward so that the staff can investigate, and you may come back and say, no, don't ask for anything more just now. Put our resolution on hold, okay? All in favor, carried. Now, we have the long one on Castle.
Yes, I will step in.
I need a mover and a seconder. Okay. Glad that's Andrea's this one. Two
Moved by-
pages long.
Moved by
Okay,
Counselor
Andrea.
Featherstone, seconded by Counselor McInnes. Whereas on March 7th, 1986, the Board of Management for Castle Home, East Nipissing Home for the Aged Castle Home, a district home, gave direction to create a separate legal entity in the form of a new public nonprofit housing corporation. This new entity, Castle Arms, would be operated and governed by the same appointees as Castle Home Board. And whereas the assets of Castle Arms has been built through contributions from taxpayers at the federal, provincial, and municipal levels. And whereas at a Castle Arms meeting held October 28, 2021, the Chief Executive Officer advised the Castle Arms Board that due to upcoming changes to the Ontario Not-for-Profit Corporations Act, ONCA, the Castle Home and Castle Arms Board could no longer have identical membership. And whereas, although the Castle Arms Board was advised that it had until October 2024 to implement the upcoming changes to the ONCA, at the subsequent meeting of November 25th, 2021, when 8 of the 9 municipalities had no representation due to a wave of resignations and a lack of public consultation, the Castle Arms Board directed the CAO to alter the composition of the Castle Arms Board, and whereas in January 2025, Castle Home obtained a solicitor-client privileged legal opinion stating in part that neither ONCA nor the Fixing Long-Term Care Act contain any provisions that would require boards of management to have a different composition than boards of nonprofit housing corporations. And whereas the November 25th, 2021 change to the composition of the Castle Arms Board was made in reliance on advice regarding the requirements of the ONCA, and whereas the advice the former Castle Arms Board received appears to have been incorrect, and whereas no changes to the former composition of the Castle Arms Board would have been made if not for the board's resilience on the incorrect advice, and whereas the current Castle Arms Board has an obligation to the taxpayers of the 9 member municipalities to restore governance of the Castle Arms Board to representatives from its member municipalities, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Bonfield calls upon the other member municipalities to join in pursuing all available legal and administrative remedies to restore democratic and public oversight of the Castle Arms Nonprofit Housing Corporation. This includes returning Castle Arms governance to its member municipalities. Further be it resolved that a committee composed of the mayors of the member municipalities or their designates, along with Castle Arms board representatives, be established to pursue these options. And further be it resolved that a copy of this motion be shared with the 8 other member municipalities, the Castle Home Board of Directors, the Castle Arms Board of Directors, and Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli.
Any comments? Yep.
Can you repeat that?
Nope.
So I think I would say that after the North Bay meeting, they have decided to go to mediation, right? So they were gonna seek some mediation between the two. So maybe before we get involved, so in my opinion, I don't think I have enough information just yet. I agree with the with creating a board and maybe, getting more information and just more information. So it's a good timeline. It's, I don't know, maybe waiting for the information to come after we see what's happened with this mediation.
Well, I watched the meeting,
Okay.
the city's meeting, and it doesn't sound like it's gonna go anywhere like that.
Well, they had a resolution to actually send it to mediation, right?
Yeah, but I think they also stated that they've tried before and it's gone nowhere. And did you see in the meeting, they're trying to pass the costs on to the municipalities for this mediation stuff?
Yes,
Right.
with their resolution.
Right, so,
Right.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that.
no, why should we cover the cost? How much do we pay a year to the Castle Arms?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
It's staggered in increases.
Okay, but I'm just,
Yes.
there's 9 municipalities that pay into this and the city of North Bay, right? Is that,
Yeah, they're one of them.
okay, so I would think the 9 municipalities should have more people on the board than the city or Castle Arm. I mean, we paid,
Oh,
the 9 municipalities pay more than.
Right.
So why, and to pull it out of our hands, like, this
I
was
agree.
all taxpayers' money that built this place. And now we have no say
Right.
because why there was a mass exodus.
So there's going to be, the last part of this is that there's going to be a committee composed of mayors, of the representatives. So I agree that, our mayor should be the representative to go and hear and listen to what they're saying. But is this going to incur money from us?
From what I saw in the one coming from the city, right? They want to get a consultant in there to discuss this. I think that there is absolutely no reason on this earth why the municipalities can't sit down and get the story on all of this. I've been listening to this. We weren't on council since this has been going on.
No,
So it's the same thing. You go into the meeting and you're not altogether sure what's happening. And if Castle Arms is an asset of the municipalities, then we shouldn't have to pay a whole lot of money to get it back because we didn't move it out.
right.
It was
taken,
on their own. So whoever moved it out and it's our assets, move it back. And I don't mind sitting on that committee because that has been an ongoing ever since we are asked to do our part above and beyond. When we pay for the capital cost of that castle home, okay, our residents are there and that's right. But we're paying a large portion into there. And if we're sitting around here and not fully understanding what we're doing, I wouldn't mind sitting on that committee. And I don't know what I think about this resolution. We can share it with the municipalities, but it seemed like when we sat in the last meeting, that's what it was all about. The municipalities were not happy. The meeting that you and I went to previously was the same thing. And we're hearing the same thing with no resolution.
And here's the other thing. Yes, everybody's fired up about this, but there's an election next year. So then if this term of council changes, then it'll just be kind of brushed off again. Like
Yeah.
it'll be forgotten about or it'll just stay the same. So yes, we need to move this forward, try to move this forward as much as we can in this term.
At least if we understand what's going on, might help matter.
Right.
But
I mean, watching the meeting, it didn't sound like we got the better end of the deal, that was for sure.
No, we're all going to pay for something that we're asking for our assets back.
And why they would say that, we want it back to sell it. Like, why would we want to sell us? You
No,
know,
that's
we
right.
just
and-
want what we've paid for, like the taxpayers have paid for. That's it.
And I'm sure we have people from Bonfield Township that stay at Castle Arms as well. And they're nice places there. So I would like to know what made this all happen, that we're still fighting over it 4 or 5 years later and with no answer. So passing the resolution is fine, right? Everybody is okay with the resolution?
Well,
I think the CAO had, so.
Yeah, so if you do pass that motion, it is saying that you want to move to, you'll have the committee, but you'll be moving to that legal action. North Bay amended it, as Councillor Clark was saying. Just before the meeting, we received the email from the town of Mattawa, who also amended it to say that they wanted mediation. So you could defer this motion without amending it and defer it. At the next motion, appoint the member to sit on the committee. And then after you get the information, bring the motion back.
Okay,
Because I'm hearing that council is in support of researching, looking into it and
Absolutely.
determining the story, what happened. And I think that goes back to, you need to go back to the Castle Arms, like where are the bylaws and how was it created and where are the assets? And so there's a lot more to know. Now, apparently they do, when we attended that meeting, they said that they had done an extensive research and there was like a 35-page report. We just haven't seen that yet. So maybe when you get back to the committee and then you get that information, you can bring the motion back. But you could defer it tonight and then bring it back.
okay.
so I'm not sure if you got a chance to read Mattawa's resolution.
I did. And there was a couple of things I questioned in there.
Do you want to read it?
Whoop. I broke it, sorry. So they're saying that we request that all municipalities adopt a motion to support specific actions, including the member municipalities, form an action committee. Okay, we're okay with that. And that all members share in the cost associated with funding any legal action against the Castle Arms organization to resolve the matters brought forward by Castle Home Board of Management in the backgrounder document. So they want us to pay for a legal action against Castle Arms, right?
It
Chip
says,
in with it.
it says support. It just says support any legal or, so I think that's saying that Castle Arm and Castle Home need to figure their stuff out. And then let's see, after you shake it all out, maybe it's as, they go through the history, because there's two different stories here, right? And I'm not, there's two different stories. So I think we are waiting to hear what the stories are. I think that report might give us some clarity with that, because they say it goes back to 1980s,
86,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking forward to that documentation. So there should probably be a lot for us to read, right?
Mhm.
I'm not in favor in putting any money out at all until, if we're asking to support this and then get either a media person or someone to address it, legal action. There you're looking for lawyers. And then the other one is a mediator. So whatever, either way, we're asked to put money out, right?
Well,
Right.
not necessarily. So I think that if we say that definitely we want to be at the table. So we've already established that for whatever action
Did you
group,
read it?
whatever action group is formed. And then this action group could come up with solutions. And then if necessary, I guess, if it's necessary that we have to take legal action, then we can take the legal action. So it's not right away. Maybe it's the legal action piece, maybe. It's look at administrative and whatever actions need to be. So as long as it's discussed and agreed upon and necessary, I think that's the key.
And I agree with that, but since we're the little guys, we're gonna put the least amount of money right in there.
Yes, and I think North Bay pays 80%, right?
Yeah,
So
they do
it's
have.
North-
On a basis.
yeah, North Bay pays
Population basis,
80%,
or-
yeah. So I think they're looking, I mean, I think we're definitely on the, at the table. We want to be at the table and form part of this committee and maybe help determine the next steps. I think that would be reasonable.
Yeah. You're gonna rewrite a motion to say.
I know.
Okay, you
So-
broke it. Okay, so we're going to leave this motion as is, right? The first motion?
Well, we're going to defer that motion.
Are we going to defer it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
Because that
deferred.
word-
Your
Okay.
decision, but you could defer it, I mean, and then go
But,
to the committee.
I think
you can bring it
defer
back.
and then see.
so we need to create a different resolution now to say that Mayor Paquette will sit on the committee?
There is a motion already.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's
for
a
that?
motion
Oh,
coming up.
okay, okay.
And then after that committee meeting, which is next
Yeah.
week, the next meeting is next Wednesday. There was an email today. So after that meeting, if there's a resolution or if there's an action plan that's determined, then we can bring that motion
Yeah,
back
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
with what the committee determines to do.
so we defer that one.
Yes.
And it kind of makes sense that we do defer that because you don't want to make any decisions on that when it's pending on a committee, right?
Yeah, and we're
Right.
looking for information,
More
but I mean,
information.
what we support is finding answers, right? I think that finding answers and next steps, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what we're supporting.
Yep.
Okay, we need a mover and a seconder for 9C.
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that council hereby appoints to sit on the committee to discover the future steps required to resolve the Castle Arms and Castle Home Board concerns.
I think it's you, right? You're
Okay.
okay? Yeah. So Mayor Paquette? I think you've got good background on it too, so.
I've never sat on the Castle Home Committee, but I've listened for the last 5 years, the same as you guys have. Okay, all in favor? Carried? Okay. Oh, we better call
Oh,
Counselor Corbett.
Councillor Corbett back.
it's all done.
Okay, I need a mover and a seconder to accept the correspondence.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, that council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of September 9th, 2025.
All in favor? Carried? So this correspondence you bring forward the next meeting,
There's just one.
if we
thing.
want it all, or what is here?
There's just one thing. I think it's the recycling. and the veterans increase.
Yeah.
For
So
veterans.
you want A and C brought
Yeah,
back?
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
everything else is just correspondence.
Okay.
And the next is Accessibility for Ontarians and Disabilities Act 2005 audit.
Yeah, so the municipality had an audit for our accessibility plan, and our deputy clerk managed that audit very well.
Thank you.
So that letter is just to say that we have passed the audit and we've met, we are in compliance. Thank you.
I passed that. What did you say? I didn't do it? I was gonna say I did it 20 years ago.
There was a lot of training and video that everybody had to watch again, and then our deputy clerk sent us all those emails and the links and stuff. So she submitted in the compliance, and this letter that's in your package
Okay.
shows that we have the compliance.
Yeah, I was really proud of myself. I did it right away as soon as I saw it.
Excellent.
Gina.
We thank you.
I passed it before. Okay, so that was, and now what's next? Here.
We're almost done.
And from Berlin.
I would always support increased income for
Yeah, we've got that.
veterans.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
coming
we
for
got
next
that.
meeting.
Yep.
And then the last one, I think, is just an FYI.
Yeah,
And the Voyager 2000 race follow-up.
just a thank you.
You're welcome.
And, okay, I'm sorry, that one?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
was
just a
just a-
thank you
yeah, it
and
was just a
a
thank you to us.
summary.
Oh, yeah. No,
Is your name on there?
Voyager return. I was there.
Did you race?
Is your name on there?
No, I went to eat.
You
I went for the banquet.
didn't go for the 200-kilometer one?
No.
All right.
No, I was pretty interested. It was pretty cold in the morning to go down there, and they're all in their shorts and off they go in their canoe races. And then when we came back to the dinner and there were little kids there, everybody had such a good time. I even made some presentations. I didn't know what I was giving all these races, eh? But it was
In any of the pictures?
pretty good
Okay.
for the people. Very good. Did you find me in the?
I'm looking.
No. Yeah, here.
Okay, so next we have no closed sessions. Confirmation, confirmatory bylaw. We have that. Do we have a mover and a seconder?
Moved by Counselor Featherstone, seconded by Counselor McInnes, that the council for the township of Bonnfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-34 to confirm the proceedings of council from August 12th, 2025 to September 9th, 2025 as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 9th day of September 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the big one. To adjourn.
Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor Corbett, that this meeting be adjourned at,
7:57.
thank you.
What time?
7:57.
All in favor? Carried. Again, this is the end of our meeting, and thank you very much for coming tonight. And thank you.
Lady is the only one I don't know.
Hi, I'm Nikki Temple. I'm with the AO.
And the last Kunkel, okay, I know other people by that name, yeah. Thank you. I'm Mary Martha, Andre mentioned my name. I've been a citizen in your township for 40 years now.
No,
Great.
well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I like to hear what's going on.
Thank you. Okay. Meeting